thinking about images and how, because I was very criticized in when I was doing some performances, that okay, yeah, somebody will come and tell me, oh, hey, you look like this, or why do you wear this kind of leggings, for example. And
really?
they would look at me. Yeah, it's very disturbing, actually. And I want to speak about this because I feel that we need to speak about the most disturbing things, that they're really kind of within the art kind of field, the art scene, and the people are really kind of thinking this. And I felt like really as an object of something that I'm not that. Why do you put these ideas on me? I'm not this, what I look. And it's not about the look.
Yeah, so far from that.
And I found out, actually, I was so like discouraged. I mean, I was so hurt because of such commentaries, that they're not focused on the work itself, but they're focused on the performer, or the appearance of the performer, and or the appearance of an image. And how can we look like further? I'm just kind of thinking like, how can we create a different language of looking? Or I was just thinking really about this, and yeah, many thoughts came to me. But anyway, it's
like doing a performance in the dark, or how do you get people to...
Yeah, but this is the problem. I think I started actually, and I've done that, but it's like not about hiding yourself. For me, this is the point, like exactly showing. I mean, that's why I like in a way, like in performance, this over, how would you say, like, it's not overexposure, but almost like exaggeration of an image, creating an image that it's really kind of highlights something like very in a stronger way, because you really point at that. But exactly, you point on purpose, because this is not this is not the message itself. It's not the image that is the message, but messages behind it. If you understand my thoughts, it's really. I'm really thinking about this, like because.
Do you think all that can be conveyed in the work without any text? Does text, because you said earlier that you've been writing a lot, does text kind of help with this message that you... I mean, I'm sure also maybe you're not thinking of one specific message, but...
No, I actually I've been starting now to work on performative works, that they're particularly textual performative works, which are kind of, I perceive them as performance, but they're text. This is not, the body is not present there. And I like this idea of the absence of the body, but still the performance is there, which is the performance becomes something else, which I find this idea quite fascinating, actually, because it's like, it's still the performance. I know what it is, because I know what is the intention that it is, but it's not the body. And that's what for me, it's a very old school idea, actually, when you connect performance and the body. I mean, we need to go further beyond that, because the body extends into different sort of like, it extends within words, sound. I also perceive my sound work as sorry. I start to get very passionate when I start to work on to think about this, because the sound for me, actually, I'm very lucky person that I started to work with performance, because performance gave me, the foundation to start with the sound, my sound work. It came from performance, because I started to work with my voice within the performance, and I started to work with the voice, and then first it very naturally evolved within the sound pieces. Now I'm doing sound compositions where I use my voice, and the voice, and there's still the performative element. It's still, I consider it as performance in a way, not because performance can be many things, of course, but I mean, I still have this. There's still very strong performative element within that, and the text. I'm interested very much in the deconstruction of text, or taking things like, or copying. It's like taking different sort of like making like something of a puzzle to create meaning where there's like no sort of a meaning. It's kind of almost like taking random pieces of of different, here and there I take something and create sort of a collage or so, in a way.
Yeah.
And I really like this idea. And also collage comes not just by putting these words, but also with the intensity of the voice, like what can be actually a voice. I'm very interested in the voice as a as a kind of as a tool, you know, like, because I'm working now with my voice in a way that I want to explore this. It's a little bit shallow maybe to say feminine and masculine, but in a way I cannot find right now the best words to say it. But what can exist within one voice? What kind of other voices are within one single voice? And this piece that I'm presenting in New York, it's exactly, this was for me I'm very happy with it, because I really managed to go to explore that idea within that, even though the piece does not talk about that. It's completely it's different, but anyway, the voice came like very strong, like what are these, there's so many different voices that I was very fascinated with this idea that you can actually, there's so many subtle nuances that you can work with. It's not, that's why I find this a great potential within that, to explore it further within the sound and get even more variation within the voice, because when you listen to a female voice, you know this voice is female. Or like we have these preconceptions how a female should sound,
or how a certain race should sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, and I'm interested in breaking this.
Yeah.
And now I'm really interested in composing music. It's for me, this is something it's really, I feel very strong passion for that. So
yeah, your practice it's so like rhizomatic, you know, it's like all these branches that lead you down all these different paths. And I love how it sounds like you've never said no to yourself.
No, yeah,
You've never
exactly.
said like,
I always say
no,
yes.
that doesn't sound like a good idea. Like you obviously you self-edit, but I like how curious.
Yeah.
You know, your practice is so
Yeah,
curious.
exactly. Because actually this happened with, I need to resolve this within myself, because when you're curious person, and I'm a very curious person, I need to know things, I need to understand, I need to get to the core of things, and I need to get into my passion and do it and look at it. But we constantly limit ourselves, and this I don't like, when the limitation kind of comes that you need to be somebody. I never imagined myself the performance artist, and somebody would tell me, oh, now you're doing performance. And before, like when I was studying ceramics and glass, and then if somebody would call me, you're a ceramicist, like, wait a second, what are you calling me? Are you really? I'm an artist. I never would say anything else but an artist. And I never emphasize what artist, like, because I know myself that for me, how everything comes together, the sculpture is so important, like, because I need to feel in different ways. Like I need to feel the material as a physical thing. Like clay, for clay is a great material. I'm working now with porcelain. Came back to porcelain because I stopped working at one point, but I started to really miss this physical, like, touch with the material. I started to feel like, hey, I was so immaterial. I was so in the immaterial existing field. Like I didn't want to touch anything. I wanted to do only like either like something that it's within the kind of video or sound and performance. And then I started to feel this sense that I'm not present, I'm not existing, almost like that. You start to feel like that there's nothing that you're living, that you're it's very weird feeling. I cannot really explain. It's almost like kind of empty feeling that you're like, where am I now? It's, for me, clay gives me some sort of a point of, I don't know, like a focus somehow different. It's a very different thing than yeah. And I really need this in my art, because I need to start from but the start point is always different. It can be a drawing, actually. It can be a sound. It can be something, but it continues within the other work in a very I'm surprised how the works it's continuation. It's not like fragmented. This is this is a sculpture, this is painting, and this is sound. But for me, it comes together. It's like almost like one thing, but it has different forms.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I see my work, and